My next guest is the founder of Skateboards for Hope, where she empowers and builds sustainable community projects for youth all over the world. She's also a TEDx speaker, visionary, leader, artist, and a dear friend of mine. Please welcome Betty Esperanza. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm even more excited because it's been a while.
Yes, I know. Last time I interviewed Betty was actually for a school project when I was at Concordia University.
Wow, life is like a full circle, isn't it?
I know, right? So Betty is in Montreal too, just like me, and she is an amazing leader in her community. Please talk to us more about what you do, who you are, and yeah, shine us your light.
Well, I'll only talk a little bit about the little things that I'm doing right now that I want to live in the present because the past is so long ago. So
Yeah.
I'm the founder, yeah, I'm the founder of Skateboards for Hope. It's a nonprofit organization. We collect and recycle skateboards and other equipment, um, especially sports, to empower youth all over the world. I've been doing it for 15 years. It started out in Cuba,
Wow.
and it's going strong. And during COVID, it's like tripled. So I don't know what's going on, guys, but I'm having a blast helping kids get through, with mental health issues, and being more creative and obviously healthier. So I'm enjoying that.
Yes.
And my background is like I was in diplomacy and marketing and business development, consulting for charitable organizations. I mean, I'm a little bit of everywhere, but I consider myself an artist humanitarian, and that's it. Like that. That's what I want to be.
Wow, that's amazing. So you truly are a multi-passionate person, right? So
Yeah.
what would you say to someone listening to this and they're like, I have so many passions, there's so many things I want to do. What would you say to them?
Make time for all of them. Make time.
Yeah.
That's it. Like stop thinking that you have to be put into a box. I mean, I definitely am a great
Yes.
example of not following the grain. I don't bother with what everyone else is doing. I really am true to myself. This is not egocentric to actually do what makes you happy, but what makes you happy makes others happy. So try different things. Be curious. Fail as often as you want. It should be a learning
Yes.
lesson. Don't worry about screwing up. Who cares? People, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, who gives a shit? Nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Oh my
do it.
gosh, this is so
Yeah,
good.
I think I told you that
Awesome.
too. I think I remember telling
Yeah.
you that, like, like we have this preconceived idea about how we should perform and how we should conform. Don't conform. Do it on your own.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, follow the rules so you don't get put in jail. But I mean, like, that's your choice, but you have to live with the consequences. But try to do things on your own. Be authentic, and yes, follow a type of formula to get to your goals. But try to do it on your own. Like, just be patient. You know.
Yes. Oh, I love this. I love this advice. This is so good. Going back to skateboards for hope,
Yeah.
I know this was like a huge, huge thing. Like, when I heard about it the first time, I was like, wow, this
Yeah.
is so inspiring. And I just love that skateboards represent freedom, and it's a way to really inspire youth for them to become strong leaders in their
Yeah.
community. So, how do you feel when you have this opportunity to make a difference in their lives?
Well, it was by accident because I gave a skateboard to a young boy in Cuba while I was on vacation with my kids, and he ended up becoming the number one skateboarder. He is my third son. Like I talked to him yesterday. Like
Yeah.
building relationships is not short term; it's long term, and to build trust is long term. So what happened was I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have an idea or a plan. It was organic. I started to bring use skateboards by asking the skateboard community, do you have anything lying around in your house that you're not using, even if it's broken? I give broken decks to artists to make bowls or keychains or shelves, whatever they want. So the idea
Mhm.
was to recycle so it wouldn't be put into landfill because I thought it was such a shame because it's not biodegradable. It's full of glue and chemicals. So I thought, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get as many skateboards into the hands of kids who don't have access. There's no skate shops in Cuba or Uganda, or some places in the Philippines or in Palestine. I've sent to Morocco, Jamaica recently, Zambia, like name it. I've sent it everywhere, like
Wow.
over like 30 countries now, but I have branches. But the idea was to empower youth because what I saw was how much joy they had and how much confidence they started having while they were falling down on their asses. It's so amazing how you can gain pride by achieving something that you can't imagine, like a kickflip. It might take you a year, but can you imagine a skateboarder, you know, who starts out with just like trying to, stand on the board and not fall off, gain control of their balance. They're learning
Yeah.
about themselves and their limits, and they're pushing their limits. And this translates in life. Everything that we do, we have to push and get out of our comfort zone. So, yeah, fall down and then get back up.
Oh, I love this so much. And I
Yeah.
also know the empowering message behind this is also to be your own hero.
Yeah.
Tell us more about what that means.
Well, what happened was when I realized that I was dropping off, I had the luxury of going to Cuba. I was working for an airline. I was going there like several times a year. It didn't cost me much. And I had the luxury of, just dropping them off, giving them to the kids, giving them some guidance. But then when you leave, they're left on their own. And so I started to instill this type of leadership mindset of be your own hero. So instead of
Mhm.
looking for others to compliment you, to encourage you, to motivate you, I came up with a concept to be your own hero and instill this using skateboarding as a tool, and it's working because a lot of the kids will ask themselves questions: who do I admire? What are the traits that, or the personality traits, or the characteristics that I admire from that person, and how can I become a little bit more like that without changing? And so, this idea of being your own hero can be taught as young as 5 years old because kids
Mhm.
ask and look up to role models, and you don't have to be famous or articulate. I think you just have to be genuine, and that's how it starts.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I love this.
I love how you say that. It's like so good. She's like, "Oh, I'm so excited." Well, I live and breathe this, so it's like it's not like I'm a book. I haven't written about it. It's more like just channeling, the goodness, the kindness, the courtesy
Mhm.
of respect for others. I think that's all I can ask, um, and all I can do.
Yes, absolutely. So, what would you say is your greatest accomplishment in your life?
Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is my sons. I mean, I know it sounds cliche,
Yeah.
a lot of mothers say that, but I have to say that raising two boys as a single mother, one salary, not always doing that well. I actually went through some cancer, so I had to like raise myself up from the the deep end of not depression, but almost, like I had sad moments. So uh,
Mm-hmm.
I believe the reason why I say that is because I look at them and they're so well rounded, they're independent, they're healthy, they are their own heroes. They are my example of what healthy children should be. And we were never rich. So can you imagine? They had hand
Yeah.
me downs. They had to learn how to, save money, or to, because I did give them responsibilities and stuff. But today, like, I look at them and I'm like, wow, I did really good. So though that example and that life lesson, I translate that to all the kids in the world that I help, to help them the same way I help my boys.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And how are Thierry and Raphael? Like, I heard so much about them throughout the years. I feel like I know them.
Yeah. I try, you know what? They're like, oh, mom, stop putting stuff on Facebook. Like, I'm like, that's a role that I can't seem to shake. Like, I'm like, I'm not a nagging mom. I definitely not, but I definitely very overly proud, bragging all the time. My oldest one's an actor, yes, Hollywood, blah blah blah, and I'm very proud of him because it's actually not easy. He's an entrepreneur because actors have to, are freelance. They have to find their jobs. They have to find their voices. They have to sometimes take on second jobs. To
Mm-hmm.
in between movies and stuff and whatever. But he's doing really well. And Thierry is really following in my footsteps. He's an entrepreneur, but he also has his foot in the non-for-profit world because he helps me, but he's always helped other non-for-profits like Head and Hands and the Mission Brewery and whatever. Like he's very involved in the community as well. But he's also a person who likes to try different things. He was a fireman,
Mm-hmm.
he
Oh,
studied
wow.
paramedics. He worked in different jobs. Now he has his own renovation company. It's like that's what I say. You don't always have to have the job, the 9 to 5, the secure salary. If you're
Mm-hmm.
able as a character to be creative and live, I guess, on the edge is pretty much what we
Yeah.
do. But that's
Oh my God.
entrepreneurship. Like,
Yeah,
it's never,
exactly.
I mean, if you're lucky to have success because the stars aligned, right? Timing and luck do play a factor. I mean, a lot of people work hard and they never make it, and it's not because of their business plan. It's just sometimes it's timing. So um
Yes.
if you're lucky to have that, that's great. But the rest of us, we have to learn to live within our means. I think that's the number one takeaway I would say, is learn within your means so that you are not unhappy.
Oh, I love this because happiness is everything, right? If we're
Yeah,
miserable in the process, it's not worth it.
I agree. I mean, I guess there has to be a little bit of misery to make you realize
Yeah.
what you really want, and then you try to reset and then get to where you want to go. But a lot of us, like, we try different things and we have to forgive ourselves for not doing well. I was going to say fuck up, but that's a really good word. If you fuck up, it's okay. You're a cat. You're like, got 9 lives. Don't worry about it. You'll do it again. You'll figure it out. You know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Betty, you're so funny. And I know you're secretly a stand-up comedian.
Yes,
Tell
I
us more
wish
about
actually.
that.
Yeah, honestly, like, I love stand up and I love stand up comedians because they're not all great. They're not funny. They're very serious people. They write about serious topics and then, twist it and make us laugh because it's so, weird or uncomfortable to think of the obvious, right? Especially when it
Mhm.
comes to pain and negative issues, like politics, like, oh my God. But I just have an admiration for stand-ups. I have friends who are stand-ups, so I admire them for getting up on stage and saying the things they do. Like, it's just mind-blowing how brilliant
Mhm.
words can change your mindset too. And obviously, saying something out loud that's negative and obvious in a funny way, you can take it better. Like
Yeah.
you can digest it. Maybe you'll have indigestion a little bit, but it won't last long because once you poop it out, it's gone. But I would like to one day get up on stage and do a set like of all the things that I think are shit because that's what I think about a lot. Yeah, it would be funny,
Oh
but
my gosh.
I don't know if that could be funny though. Like if I might end up make people cry. That's why I'm worried about. I wouldn't want anyone to cry.
Laughing or crying, please sign me up.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So I also know that you met Nas Daily. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, I'm
yeah.
so jealous.
Well, you could have too
Tell
if
us
you were on
more.
the ball. I don't know why. Like when I met him twice actually. When I met him, it was like I was put into a Facebook group, like that was actually pissed off at Nas Daily for going to McGill for a conference to give us to they invited him, but it was so exclusive. It was only for McGillians, and so it,
What?
yeah, and I don't know how I got in there, but I was like, "What is this about? This is not Nas Daily." I don't know what I wrote, like something like this is not Nas Daily. Customs or something, like this is not unusual. Is this about money or like anyway? I was a little bit off, but in the end, Nas actually we invited him into the group, and he actually agreed with us that he should do
Mhm,
an outdoor. Well, we told him to meet us at Tam Tams, and that's what we did.
mhm.
And we were like 500 people at Tam Tams showed up like
Wow.
spontaneously, and I got to film it, and I got to meet him. I actually talked to him before everyone arrived because I was there to meet him. And then and the second time there was a private taping at Goldcast where he was doing his taping, and I was privileged that I was one of 20 people who got to be part of the taping, and then we ended up talking.
Wow.
And then he sent me a private message, which I ended up making public. And on top of it, Mitch Summers, who was working with him, who was the Canadian, who was doing most of his videos with Argon, he calls me up last in February. The year before, and he says, I'm going to Cuba. I couldn't believe I was trying to think, who do I know knows Cuba? And he calls me and we start talking, and then he goes, well, I'm going there for one thing, but I really want to do tell your story. And they ended up doing the story about Cuba, about me in Cuba, and 3 minutes, and put it on Nas Daily. And boy, oh boy, did I have a lot of emails after.
Wow.
It went viral. It's amazing. And so since then, I've had even more international exposure. Thank you, Nas Daily and Mitch Summers. You know what I mean? Like it makes a big deal
Mhm.
to share the story. And I didn't sell anything. I wasn't selling shoes or T-shirts. I was just asking people to give me skateboards or get me, tell me all the kids that needed them. It was very simple. Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
I love that story.
I'm so speechless right now. This is so amazing. The power of connections
Yeah.
and really getting on video and sharing our stories, how viral that can go.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about like I don't actually try to get viral. That's not my objective. I don't pay for Facebook ads. Sorry, Facebook. I'm not. I don't have that much money yet. You know what I mean? Like I don't really get donations either. I do get donations from corporate businesses, private donations, but I have
Mhm,
not asked, regular people for $20 or $100. Like so. I'm not there yet, but
mhm.
once I'm there, yeah, we'll be able to do it. But for now, the idea is to connect with as many people as possible. Don't worry about going viral. Actually, the most important people that you should be connecting with is your audience that needs you, not a bunch of
Yes.
people who are just voyeurs, peeping toms, looking at your stuff, and then making bad comments. You want to service your clients or your network or your community. You want to give them value. You don't need to have it
Mhm.
viral. I mean, unless that's a objective to be a Kardashian. Well, good luck.
Oh
Because
my
even
gosh, you're so
Kardashian is losing power. You know what I mean? Like she has to have pictures of her in her Philippines in her on vacation. That's really nice, Kim. But the rest of us are trying not to catch COVID. You know?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah.
separate
I don't
realities.
know if you heard about it, but anyway, you never know.
Anyways, so I love to ask all my guests on the podcast, what does being a powerful leader mean to you?
That's a good question because it means empowering others to be the best versions of themselves. I mean, like you want to help others achieve their goals. It also means being genuine and serving for the better good. Everybody has to do that. Whether it's at the basic level of helping a family member, a best friend, or community, but you have to do that. And then you also a good, powerful leader has to be a visionary and very optimistic about the future because it's like a formula that we have to create that doesn't exist. And I think that it's like math. We have to figure it out. We have to find a solution.
Oh, I love this. Yes,
Yeah.
so true. So, do you have any last piece of wisdom you'd like to share with our audience?
Yeah, I remember telling you that I wrote something very interesting, and it's a snowboarding reference. See the spaces, not the trees. It's very,
Yeah.
you know, it can be tough standing at the top of the mountain trying to convince yourself for the trip down. You know what I mean? And you're like, I don't want to do it. It could be bungee jumping, whatever it is, and seeing all the trees in your path, and you're like, I can't do it. But the solution is to see the space between the trees. It's not between the
Mm,
trees, is look between that. And then this sort of mindset, seeing the opportunity and not the obstacles, is really what you want to do to start out on your next venture. And then projects or relationship, if you're looking for that perfect person. But when you're deep into your work or facing a personal challenge, it's easier to see the roadblocks. I mean, we're so negative, but don't let
mhm.
that stop you from pursuing the opportunity that exists around you. Try to quiet down the negativity and look for a way to see the space between, not the trees.
Wow, I love this. Well, thank you so much for sharing. So, where can people go to connect with you further in the online space?
Anywhere they want, on Messenger, on skateboardsforhope.com, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Like just type skateboardsforhope.com or skateboards for hope at skateboards for hope and find it. Twitter is at skateboard the number 4 hope because they have limited characters. Idiots, they're so stupid. No, seriously. Instagram is Skateboards for Hope. Facebook is Skateboards for Hope. I mean, like, Google it. You'll find me. I mean, my phone number is there, my address. You want to drop off skateboards, you want to talk about, ideas. Like, I actually like talking to people about their ideas, like, or, brainstorming.
Hmm.
So that's good too. And if they have any ideas, I'm always looking for people to help out since I'm a one woman show,
Yes.
and you have to learn how to delegate to the best. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just like you're doing a great job because you're giving a voice to people like me
Mhm.
and others. And what happens is, we that's a great way to connect with another audience that you don't have your eyes on, because the world is big, it's huge. I
Yes.
mean, you can't do everything, and it's great to have you, Anna, to tell my story and to include me in your vision board. Like, that's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, and I love
absolutely.
talking.
It's been such an honor. Thank you so much for your
You're
time,
welcome.
for being here and sharing your story.
Well, everyone stay safe and be happy.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.